and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for plenty more Barca news coming your way, because we are going to have full reaction to the Nations League final last night. We've also got a full transfer update on the channel today, and plenty more on the whole Marc-Andre Ter Stegen situation, because quite honestly, this all gets worse with every passing day, and we're also going to be discussing Julian Alvarez. Is he a genuine Barca target? It's all discussed here today. Get yourselves ready, and let's do this. But let's first of all begin then with that Nations League final, where it was defeat for Spain in the end, after it was somebody's bright idea to let Alvaro Morata take a penalty there. And you just saw it happening. You saw it there in the walk-up to take that penalty. I think every single one of us were thinking, this is not going to end well. But Luis de la Fuente, I mean, some of the decisions that he made there, tactically, the in-game subs, the way that he set up the team, the mentality last night, it was all just really, really off. Some really baffling calls from him. I think on Portugal's side, though, can I just say, it's the perfect example in those latter stages of the game of what Rafael Leao can do, at his best there. He came on against tired legs and he ran Spain ragged on that left-hand side. When he's locked in, when he's really focused, he can be absolutely unstoppable. The only way they could stop him were tactical fouls there from Spain's side, and it was interesting actually because Joan Laporta, he was in the stands in Munich last night. He was keeping his eye on the action. I think he was also keeping an eye on Nico Williams as well, but that was very, very interesting to see. But I think overall, guys, looking here at the Barca players that were in action for Spain, I'm just happy personally that they can finally now go on a very well-deserved break. They need to unwind after what has been such a long, such a demanding season, and I don't really think this is going to worry them too much, despite all of the noise. We can't forget here, the Nations League was literally just invented by UEFA to replace friendly matches between the European nations. So I don't think here the Barca players are going to think too much on this loss. And I think it's quite extraordinary, by the way, that there are players who will have played here in these end-of-season internationals, and now they're going to go to the Club World Cup. I mean, it's absolutely extraordinary to see what's happening. And also, guys, by the way, if you do want more reaction from me to the Nations League final, there is more TalkFCB news over on MORETALKFCB for you to enjoy there as well. But if we do move on then to talk about some transfer news here at Barca, let's start with Gerard Martin, because, news has emerged over the past 48 hours here that Wolves are very much interested in signing Gerard Martin this summer, and I think it's always interesting when Premier League clubs are interested in Barca players, because obviously with them, it doesn't really matter which club it is, they've got a bit of money behind them, so that's an interesting link there, and I think actually Gerard Martin would suit the Premier League very, very well. Physically, he's a player that I think could really suit the league, and Barca would reportedly be open to selling for anything 12 million or upwards there, so that's interesting that they don't really want to sell Gerard Martin, but if they got an offer there of upwards of 12 million, they would be open to doing business. And I think what's really interesting right now is that we're hearing in the media that if Gerard Martin was sold, Barca then would go straight out and they'd sign a left-back. And they already know who that left-back would be. We've spoken about him already. It would be Alex Grimaldo. And I think when you're looking at it right now, if you were to sell Gerard Martin for about 12 million, you could actually go out and get Grimaldo for only a few million more than what you'd have sold Martin for. Now, for me, that just seems like a no-brainer. If we can actually make this happen here, swapping out Gerard Martin for somebody in Grimaldo who's higher quality, he is more experienced there, it will be much, much better and higher quality depth there, along with Balde in this team. And if you could do that without even actually spending too much in terms of net spend, that would be perfect in my opinion. However though, guys, we do have to talk about Andreas Christensen, because in my opinion, this situation is far, far from perfect. Because, okay, right now, Christensen's contract at Barca expires in 2026. So what you got there is 2 years out from that expiry. So really, this summer, Barca have to make a decision. Do they count on Christensen for the future? Do they want to renew him? Or do they want to sell him? And according to the media, the decision now has already been made on Christensen. They will not not renew his contract at the club, and they will actively listen to offers for him this summer. And personally, I'm just disappointed about that news there, because I know that Christensen has had injury problems. Admittedly, at centre-back, he's not the only one, by the way. That should be pointed out here. He's not the only one who's suffered a few injury concerns. But I think whenever he has played, you look at the way that he came back at the end of the season there, the way that he fitted into Flick's team, he looked tailor-made for the system. And what has actually really frustrated me about these rumours is that apparently Flick would be in favour of Christensen staying. He would actually want him to stay, and maybe he would be more open to Araujo leaving the club, but it's Deco that actively wants to sell Christensen, and he would rather put his faith in Araujo and keep him there. So I think already a bit of a difference in opinion. And what I don't get here, why would Flick not have the final say? If these rumours are to be true, why would you not listen to the man who's done what he's done? You know, look at what Flick has achieved this season. Look at what this man has turned this team, transformed this team into. He should get the final say. Not just on this, but everything. And in my opinion, it should simply be Deco's job to facilitate the coach's wishes here. He shouldn't be coming in with too many of his own opinions. You know, you're not coaching the team. You're not seeing the players in training. You don't know exactly the kind of tactics here that Flick wants to implement. Flick knows best. Let's count on him. Let's go with his judgment. And I would be concerned if we are putting too much influence here and too much power and weight behind Deco's calls. But I do also want to provide an update here, guys, on Joan Garcia, of course, because this has gone a little bit quiet over the past few days, and I don't want anybody to start getting nervous on this one. There's no doubt in this deal at all. It's something there that's been done. The agreement has been reached with Joan Garcia. He wants to come. He is going to come to the club, and it's very, very exciting indeed. And the best part is, this week, it's all going to happen. Right now we are hearing that the release clause will be paid on Tuesday by Barcelona there. That money will go to the La Liga offices. He'll be freed from his Espanyol contract, and you can expect a lot of tears from Espanyol fans when this happens. They are not going to be happy at all about it, which, if anything, almost makes it even more sweet. So this is the week here of Joan Garcia, and I thought it was really, really nice to hear what one of his former goalkeeping coaches at Espanyol said about him recently, Jesus Salvador. He said Joan Garcia will become the best goalkeeper in the world. He said, look, I've seen him a lot. I know his potential. And right now, this season, we've only just seen the tip of the iceberg. So there's still plenty more to come from him. You're a goalkeeper who made more saves than anybody else in La Liga last season. He was massively impressive, and we are about to welcome him to our great club, a great goalkeeper, and I cannot wait. It's going to move quickly soon, guys, and Joan Garcia is about to become a Barcelona player. Then, though, guys, we do move on to the Marc-Andre Ter Stegen situation. Like I say, every day, new reports emerge. And admittedly, you know, this may be coming from the club. There may be leaks happening here. This may all be sort of aimed to force Ter Stegen out of the club. But at the same time, even if that is true, I still don't doubt what we're hearing is actually true, because a lot of it here, you can understand. We've got some proof here of what's happening, because, for instance, after the game against Villarreal, you know, such a joyful occasion, obviously we lost the game, but we were celebrating the title with the fans. We all saw Joan Laporta and Hansi Flick in some sort of exchange. Now, at the time, none of us really understood what it was about. It looked a little bit nervy between the two of them. It looked a little bit frantic in the way they were exchanging conversation there. And actually, now we've come to learn that was because of Ter Stegen. That was because of Ter Stegen's actions at the end of that game. When, let's remember, he's the captain of this club. You know, captain of Barca, there's no greater honour. That should be something that really does make you act in the right way, act in the interests of your teammates, of the fan base. But at the end of that game against Villarreal, because Ter Stegen was still angry that he wasn't playing, that he didn't play in the Champions League against Inter, he was really, really furious. He was supposed to speak to the fans. He was supposed to address the 50,000 fans inside the stadium because he's the captain, and he straight up refused. That is why you saw that confusion from Joan Laporta, from Hansi Flick. They didn't expect that. Of course they didn't. Why would you expect that from a captain and a so-called leader That is absolutely unacceptable. And right now, it's just not looking good between any of the parties here. Ter Stegen is apparently still furious. Hansi Flick doesn't want him at the club. Joan Garcia wants him out. Ter Stegen now has returned to Barcelona following the Nations League. And we have to talk, because this can't continue. There's no way he is playing next season. There's no way he is getting in this Hansi Flick team after what has emerged here. And there are rumours right now that AC Milan could be interested. They're about to lose Mike Maignan this summer. But Ter Stegen's salary, it's not going to be easy to take on for other clubs. And that is why, realistically, if we want him out, if we do want to get rid of him, it's probably going to be on a free. We're not going to get money for him, because any club here taking on this salary, Barca will just be happy to get rid of it. They'll be happy to get rid of Ter Stegen. They'll be happy to get rid of this contract, because right now, things are spiralling out of control. And to be quite honest, I cannot believe some of what we're hearing here. However, though, guys, can we believe this rumour right here? And let's talk now about something I think is very, very exciting, very intriguing. Let's talk about Julian Alvarez, because reports are emerging right now that Barca want to sign Alvarez, not this summer though, but next summer, when Robert Lewandowski will indeed leave the club. Reports, everything right now points to it being his final season at the club, and Barca want Alvarez. Now, I've always said here, you know, when reports come out saying, oh, this will happen next year, it's easy to say things right now that, oh, it's not going to happen for 12 months, because there's lots of time, lots of things that could happen in between that. But I do actually believe this. I do actually feel as though it's something that checks out. You know, Laporta is a very, very big fan of Julian Alvarez, has been now for some time. Barca weren't really in the financial situation to sign him when he was leaving Man City. Come next summer, we may certainly be in the position to do so. And is he a player that could suit the club? I mean, of course he is. He is absolutely phenomenal as a centre-forward there. And especially thinking about Flick's style of play, you know, the energy that he has, the way that he can press, the way that he works off the ball as well. It all fits absolutely beautifully. I thought he had a great season. Great first season there in La Liga with Atletico Madrid. And it's not the easiest place to go, is it? And go and be an attacker, go and be a centre-forward there. Swapping Man City, for example, for Atleti. I mean, those are very, very contrasting styles. But look how well he's done. Look how well he's adapted. And we've also seen him, of course, play so well on the international stage too. So he's certainly proven that he can fit in with different type of tactics there, that he's such a hard-working player, that he can score goals anywhere, any league, any country. But of course, what you have to say is, even next summer, it would be expensive. There's no getting away from that. And what's interesting, though, is that come next summer, that might be the big signing. We will need a centre-forward when Lewandowski leaves, and he will also leave a lot of wages behind. We can't forget that as well. We will save an extraordinary amount there on the wage bill when Lewandowski leaves the club, because obviously Atleti last summer, they paid 75 million euros to Man City plus 20 million in add-ons for Alvarez. So make no mistake, it would not be a cheap operation. I think you'd be talking at least 100 million euros. But guys, what do you make of it right here? Would you like to see Julian Alvarez at Barca? Do you believe he is the man to replace Lewandowski? Different type of player, different kind of profile, but could you see it working out? And do you believe that we can make it happen? That is something I really would like to know in the comments down below from you. But make no mistake, guys, I have left the best and the greatest news of all until the very end, because we are getting word now. It is breaking news here that Clement Lenglet, he's gone. He has gone. He is no longer a Barca player. He is not connected to this club in any way, apart from obviously the legacy that he's left here. What a legend. What a player. But all good things have to come to an end. And Lenglet, he is gone, like I say, because he will officially join Atletico Madrid now on a permanent deal. That will be a 3-year contract. His contract at Barca will be terminated there. It was set to run until 2026, and admittedly, we have had to pay off a bit of it here. He has not forgone all of that salary that he was owed, but we will only pay part of that remaining salary. All of the rest he has agreed to waive, to write off. And Lenglet and Barca, like I say, they're no longer connected. They are no longer an item. It's over. This relationship has come to an end. So please let me know, guys, and I would like to know, how do you feel about that? What is your reaction to that breaking news? And let me know as well your thoughts on everything else we have discussed in today's video. Thank you for your great support here and over on MORETALKFCB too. I'll see all of you soon. But until next time, as always, Vejka, Barça.